Hey guys, welcome to Flooded With Flavour. Today I'm going to kick off my first ever cooking channel the only way that is right, by doing a 8-pound USDA Black Angus, I believe, USDA Choice brisket. As you can see, I've already trimmed this bad boy up good and proper, took off a bunch of hard fat that's just not going to render during the cook, cut off a bunch of the oxidized meat that just doesn't look very nice, cut off a bunch of extra fat on the back as well. On the back you really want to go for roughly a 1/4 inch of fat. That's enough fat to taste, but not so much fat that it tastes nasty. You don't want too much fat because as well this is obviously quite a marbled piece of meat. You can see in the meat it's pretty marbled. So once you've trimmed the brisket up, as I've done now, it's time to rub it. So today I'm using the one and only Malcolm Reed How to Barbecue Rice Killer Hogs rubs. I'm going to be hitting it first with a layer of the hot barbecue rub, and then I'm going to be coming back with a lighter layer of the Texas brisket rub, just to give it a nice texture, a nice bit of crunch in the bark and a bit of pepper as well. So what we're going to do first actually is flip the brisket over, because we're going to season the back first and then flip it over and season the top, because the fat which is on the bottom of the meat is going to go down on the grill, on the smoker. You'll see why in a minute. So like I said, first we're going to hit this fat layer on the back that's going to go face down on the grill with the hot barbecue rub. Now when I rub, I like to do it from quite high up, that way you can get like a nice even coating. It might look as well like I'm putting quite a bit of rub on this meat, but you gotta remember this is like an 8-pound piece of beef. This can take a lot of rub. We're also gonna leave the brisket for about 2-ish hours before we put it on the grill, just for the rub to soak into the meat, to adhere to the skin, because that's gonna help us get not only a great taste, but also a great bark. Something you've got to also remember to do is always hit the sides, because the sides are important. You can't miss out the sides. A lot of people forget to do the sides, and then you get really great tasting brisket on top and, well, to put it lightly, boring brisket on the side, which is not what you want. Okay, so now that's rubbed up, just give it a light pat just to kind of make the rub stick, and then like I said, we're going to hit it with another layer, a lighter coating of the more coarse TX rub. Again, you'll see this is quite a lot coarser than the rub that I just put on, and it's really just going to help build a good bark. You don't need too much of this. You don't want to over flavor it. I mean, like I said, that's going to be pretty hard with a piece of beef this big, but just enough to give it a texture, to give it a good look as well, because ultimately, you know, they say that you eat with your eyes first, or taste with your eyes first, or something along those lines. So you want the meat to look good more so than anything, at least right off the bat. Okay, so now just again, we're going to pat this coat of rub in, and then give it a minute, and we're going to flip it over. You don't have to worry too much about the rub adhering on this side, because like I've said for the 3rd time now, this is the bottom of the meat. This is going to go face down on the grill, so this is not going to be the bit of the meat that you see when you obviously slice into it and start eating it, but you still want it to look good. Alright, flipping the meat over. We're going to hit it again with a layer of the hot barbecue rub all over the top of this brisket that I must say I've trimmed, I think, pretty damn well. This is only my 3rd brisket, I want to say. I've only done 3 briskets, or 2 briskets before this. So trimming it is still kind of new to me. I'm filming this video like a tutorial, kinda, even though it's not really a tutorial, because, I mean, I'm hardly a teacher. If you want a lesson, go watch How to Barbecue Right. I'll never stop plugging my boy Malcolm Reed. I just figured this would be something cool to make alongside Halo and SCP videos and whatever else I decide to make over on the regular channel, because as you guys know, whenever I'm not making Halo videos, I'm either playing RuneScape or smoking meat, so I figured I may as well make a channel about one of those things. So once again, just pat the rub in. As you can see, it's already adhering to the meat, which is great. When you trim the meat, typically it comes closer to room temperature as you're trimming it, so it makes the rub stick a lot more. What we're going for really is a really nice mahogany colour. You should see that more as it's smoked for a while, but we're really going for like a nice kind of deep red mahogany colour for now. Right, so pat it in once again, and now what we're going to do is we're going to leave this brisket for 1.5 hours, 2 hours-ish, just to come closer to room temp. and then we're going to get it on the pit. This is going to be an overnight smoke, so I'm going to stick it in around 11 p.m, get up, God forbid, at 6:30 in the morning. There are very few things that will get me up at 6:30 in the morning. Brisket is absolutely one of them, and you'll see what we do at that time, but for now it's time to just let this baby rest, and I'll see you in a few hours out at the smoker. So the brisket has been resting for about an hour and a half right now, and as you can see, the colour has gone even more towards that mahogany colour. The rubber's really adhered to the meat, and it's made it all kind of tacky and a bit sticky, which is what you want to build a great bark. The pit is firing up right now, so about 25-30 minutes time, it'll be time to get this bad boy on and then head to bed. So it's about 11:30 p.m. right now. The brisket is on the pit. We're running at about, I'm not sure if you can see that, 195 Fahrenheit. We have a hopper. I'm currently operating the light and the camera myself, so this is about the most amateur camera work ever. We are running a hopper that is packed full of both hickory and cherry wood, both the backbones of barbecue and also work really well with brisket. So it's time to leave this bad boy on the pit for about 8-ish hours. I'm gonna get up around 7 a.m. tomorrow, come check on it, and then you'll see a very, very tired Luke wrap a brisket. Good night. So it's about 7:30 a.m. and as you can see, the brisket is ready for wrapping. So I'm pretty tired, but you know what? I'm not going to complain because this brisket is looking damn fine. As you can see, the rub has really adhered to the outside of the meat. It's pretty much all gone into the meat now and created a bark. So now what we need to do is get this brisket inside, get it wrapped, and then get it back on the pit to finish cooking. It doesn't need any more smoke now. It's had all the smoke that it needs. It's been on the pit now for like 8 hours-ish. That's more than enough smoke to build a good smoke ring and to get that great both hickory and also cherry wood taste. So it's time to get this bad boy inside, get it wrapped, and get it back out here. Right, so we've got the brisket inside now, and it is time to wrap. So we're wrapping it today in butcher's paper, which is the perfect material for brisket because it allows the meat to retain as much moisture as possible, whilst, unlike foil can do, not spoiling the bark and making it go all muddy. So the way we're going to wrap it is pretty simple. Just want to bring the paper over, tuck it under the brisket like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it goes without saying that that's not perfect. And then bring that over like that. And then the side bits, the kind of wings here, you just want to get underneath and tuck them under. Kind of like that. So again, we have the point there, the flat there. The point is the fatty bit that's going to go towards the heat. Doesn't matter too much, to be quite honest with you. We just want it to cook as evenly as possible. So that's the brisket wrapped, pretty amateurly. One thing we are going to do, you'll see on the screen right now, is when we put it back on the pit, I'm going to stick a probe in the kind of center of the flat. And what that's going to do is just allow us to see the temp and let us see when it hits that glorious 202 degrees and it's ready to rest. So I'm going to do that now. You'll see on screen that I've already done it. We're also going to set the pit to 250 degrees as opposed to 195 because 195 was just so it wouldn't overcook overnight. Now we kind of want it to cook, so time to set it to 250 degrees and let it ride for about another 7 or 8 hours. So the brisket has been on for about 19 hours. When it hit about 202 Fahrenheit internal, we pulled it and rested it in a bag for about an hour just to let all those juices come in. The brisket had a perfect wiggle to it. It felt like butter when the probe went into it. As you can see, the bark is absolutely gorgeous. So it's time for the grand reveal. Let's cut into this bad boy and see what it looks like. So as you can see, it doesn't fall apart. But when you pull it lightly, it comes apart. That is good brisket right there. Maybe slightly overcooking the bottom, but you know what? You're never gonna get them all perfect. That's the flat. That is a beautiful, beautiful brisket flat right there. Just look at that. That right there is beautiful. Look at that. So now, actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut about halfway down and expose the point muscle, which is where the fatty bits are. Look at that, that is That is what you call a brisket. Just, you know, you're not supposed to do this with brisket, but I'm just gonna squeeze it and show you the juices. Look at all that juice there. Perfect. Right then. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it halfway, and then we're gonna go back like that. Now this is the fatty bit, this is the good bit of the brisket, the real good bit. And there you can see again, incredibly juicy, fat rendered perfectly. That's pretty damn good. Now the real test, the taste test. I'm just gonna cut a bit off this burnt end here. Try me a bit of fatty brisket point burnt end. Oh. Oh. That right there is why brisket is the king of barbecue. The undisputed king of barbecue. It's not even close. That is, oh. The rubs are perfect. The brisket is maybe slightly overcooked, but honestly, doesn't impact the taste whatsoever. That is a damn fine brisket. And you know what? I think that is the perfect way to debut the channel. So thank you for watching the first video on Flooded With Flavour. It goes without saying that this is a bit different to my regular content, but if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more like it, then hit the like button and also subscribe for more. I've actually already filmed my second video, so that'll be going up soon. But I figured, you know what? I'd launch the channel with the one and only brisket, the king of barbecue, the king of smoking. And honestly, wasn't perfect, but I would still say that was a damn good way to launch the channel. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to sub and also like. And I don't have like a funny catchphrase or quip to say at the end of this video, to be honest, because this is still very new to me. So you know what? I'm just gonna say goodbye because I'm hungry. So later.